What's up, guys? It is the second half of today's podcast. It is Sunday, November 10th, 2024. It's the MMAOB Daily Podcast. And I'm your host, as always, Adam Martin. And I'm joined by my co-host here, Mr. Big Marcel. We're here with you guys to preview UFC 309. Jones versus Miocic. Can't believe it's happening, Marcel. We can't believe that John Jones is actually fighting again. And Stipe is actually fighting again. Please don't get hurt. I hope, God, no one gets hurt. By the way, I should ask you, is there a backup fighter? Is it Tom Aspinall? Is he a backup?
Yeah, he is, but I mean, it's like the biggest charade I ever seen. You know?
Imagine Stipe gets hurt though, or something, gets sick. Imagine that? Imagine that happened.
Yeah, I don't see either of them taking the Tom Aspinall fight on 4. They didn't want to take that fucking fight on 2 months' notice. Why would they take it on 4 days' notice? You know?
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, these big fights, they have to have a backup plan, just because you never know what happens, man. Thankfully, we're past the COVID days, like knock on wood. But imagine, something happened. I know. I hope they didn't jinx it. Anyways, can't wait to talk about this card with us.
You actually jinxed the fucking Discord last night with saying after, I think, what was the Zaleski win, you said like, oh, we all got finishes. And then Carolina came up against Gomez, and then it was decision. So you jinxed it, dude.
My bad. Anyways, let me give a shout out to our sponsor here, Bet105.eu. We'll use their odds today, guys. They should have most of the fights. I know they've missed a few, some of the cards we did, but I think they have all the fights. And if not, I'll find another source. Let me get some comments here. Glenn, if Stipe pulls out, do you think Jones takes Aspinall? He'll say no. He'll do like with the Chael and Dan Henderson. But I just don't think I don't think Stipe or him will pull out. You
know what Dana says?
What?
Yeah, we done so much to book this fight. We rebooked this for next year early, and we got this done.
Yeah,
something like that.
I know. All right, a couple other comments. Here, Chad, what's up, man? Glad to have you here. Do the fighters have to agree to back up? I think they have. I mean, they should have had.
I think anyways. So, yeah.
Before we get started, you guys think that John disrespect comes from you fans? I don't think anyone disrespects him. I think everyone says he's the GOAT. As far as the ducking thing, I mean, to be honest, it seems like he is ducking Tom Aspinall, quite frankly. You know, I think Jones is the best fighter of all time. I was there during his come-up. I think he's great. But he's doing everything he can to avoid fighting Tom Aspinall. You know? He even said this week, he's like, he's like, Tom doesn't deserve it. Tom doesn't have any wins that, you know, make me excited or whatever. I want to fight Alex Pereira instead. So, not that would be a good fight because it's a good fight, but you know, Pereira could be taken down, I think, a lot easier than Tom would, right?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, this is a good question on paper.
6.
I'd say 7. I mean, the top 2 fights are pretty great. So
listen, man, you're Adam Martin. I'm Marcel Dorf. I'm always being a little bit more negative.
You're always like a point behind me, I feel like.
Yeah, always. So yeah,
it's true. Do you think DSP wouldn't get the same backlash for not fighting Whitaker? He might have. I mean, but you know that I get what you're saying, but it was kind of a different situation. I feel like he came out of retirement. I don't think his plan was ever to fight, you know, again. You know, with Jones, like he's holding the division up. GSP gave the belt back immediately.
Yeah. The funny thing is, like, he said today that he would defend, and then after the fight, it's like, no, I don't feel that good. I'll retire and I relinquish the belt. And I was actually laughing because I kind of felt that he was going to do that because for him it was like, this is the right time to get my middleweight title shot because he knew he could beat Bisping. You know what I mean? So,
for sure.
Funny.
Just a couple other comments. Jones isn't my go. Okay, I guess it would be GSP then. Quinn, something Mighty Mouse or someone. Is Jones versus Aspinall one of the greatest fights of all time? Might not happen. I mean, it could still happen, but yeah, it would probably be up there with Anderson Silva and GSP.
It's much more anticipated than Jones Miocic is, man. It's like, listen,
he's the interim champion. That's why.
Yeah, people saying that. I mean, Dana says like, making the fight. Everybody wants to see. Listen, if I do now a poll on my Twitter, you know, and I got like 10,000 people are voting. And I say, what do you want to see, Jones, Miocic, or Jones against Aspinall? I'm sure over 80% picks Jones against Aspinall, you know?
Yep, I agree. All right, let's get into the preview, guys. We're going to break down all the fights of this card. We'll start with the first fight of the night. We have Veronica Hardy taking on Eduarda Moura. And the odds for this fight have Hardy over at Bet105.eu. She is minus 159, Moura plus 137. There's a lot of fights in this card and a lot of fights that I feel pretty confident in. I feel like this fight's going to be pretty competitive. Personally, Marcel, I feel like they match up pretty close, in my opinion. I do think Veronica's probably the more well-rounded fighter. I think she has the striking advantage. The ground game, Moura's, you know, got some takedowns for sure. Good submissions. So does Hardy, though. I think Hardy's ground game's pretty good. And the thing with Veronica, she's looked a lot better since she's come back to the UFC. She won all 3 of her fights. Definitely looked improved. I still think it's going to play out close, though, because I think there's going to be a lot of grappling in this fight. It's not really one I'm interested in, like, betting or anything like that. I'll pick Hardy, though. I think she wins the decision. But I think it's going to be close. I think it'll be competitive. What do you think, man?
I'm just surprised that Veronica Hardy is younger than Eduarda Moura is. You know what I mean? Because we have seen Veronica for such a long time already in the UFC, but she came very young in the UFC. I got to be honest, when I pick a dog here, man, I think
I don't blame you.
Yeah, Veronica Hardy, she's pretty all round and decent, you know. But at the same time, Eduarda Moura, she now goes to 125. You know, I don't think she has that much of a struggle with the weight cut. But I don't expect her to gas out after 1.5 rounds. And I think that she is stronger and that she will implement her game with the wrestling, you know. So I think she can definitely win 2 of the 3 rounds probably. We'll see. Listen, if she doesn't get maybe she gets the finish, but if she doesn't get the finish, we'll see the 3rd round. I think Veronica can come back, but I would go, if I have to pick, I'll go with Moura here. So Eduarda Moura by
there you go. Excuse me. We got a dog pick in the first fight of the night. By the way, Glenn, he says, do we have odds on Dan Hardy being allowed to stay in the unit? They want him out of there as soon as possible.
That's so sad, man, you know.
Yeah, I agree with this. Probably be Tom versus the winner of Gall, most likely. But we'll see.
Who
knows, guys? We'll see.
Maybe they go nuts, you know. And it's like, I don't know anything, so I'm just thinking out loud, man. Maybe they do Jones Miocic, and they already know that they're going to retire, and they book like fucking Aspinall against Pereira or something for the December card.
I think it's possible. They haven't announced a fight for that. I mean, it's close, but they haven't announced a fight for that card yet, which is really weird to me because they're gonna announce the card on this card, aren't they?
I think so. I would think so. I also is there a seasonal presser?
I'm not sure. I don't think they do that anymore, do they? I can't remember.
They did last year. So
okay, well, I don't know. I don't follow that stuff as closely as you, to be honest, but maybe. I just feel like it's weird that they haven't announced anything for that card. It's coming up in 4, was it 4 weeks? Yeah, it's a month.
Yeah. Unless
it is Usman, and Usman was kind of keeping his lips sealed at the card the other night, or last night he did the analysis. Dan's lucky Veronica is the face for an actress. Oh yeah, she's definitely marketable. Yeah. That's my word, marketable, Marcel. All right, let's go to the next fight here, guys. We have
Adam doesn't say marketable off the record, by the way, guys, just for you to know. I'm just kidding.
All right, next fight here we got Bassil Hafez against Oban Elliott at welterweight, and the odds for this one have. Let's see here. Yeah. All right, bet 105 to AU. Oban Elliott is actually minus 220 favorite. Bassil plus 185. You know what? If this fight happened before Oban's last fight, I probably would have taken Bassil because I think he could have wrestled him. But honestly, man, like I was really impressed with Oban's takedown defense against Preston Parsons, who's kind of a similar fighter, like a pressure type wrestler. I kind of feel like he's the same as Bassil. I feel like Oban's going to be able to keep the fight standing on the feet. I do feel like he'll be the more effective striker here. The odds are, a little higher than I thought they would be. But at the same time, like I think he wins. So I'm going to go with Oban Elliott, Marcel. I think Bassil's pretty tough. I think he'll survive the distance, but I think Oban gets the decision here. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, I was hoping to get Oban as a dog pick, So, I'm also on Oban here. And exactly the same reasoning as you have. I was impressed by him, what he did against Preston Parsons. And I wasn't that impressed by Bassil Hafez against Gall last time.
Yeah, no, me either.
And it's crazy, because if those two fights didn't happen, you might think completely different.
I probably would have picked Hafez if you didn't see those last two fights. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I'm with you. Oban Elliott by decision. I think the Welsh gangster does it. Yeah.
Preston Parsons. I mean, I kind of feel like he's a similar type fighter. Don't you feel like, Marcel? Like pressure-based wrestler. Like maybe Bassil's got the better striking. I would say that, but I don't think it's amazing. So Onama, I was going to mention this later. According to Marcel, David Onama has an opponent. He's going to fight in this card. He doesn't know who it is. Krylov's off the card, right?
Yeah, so the Brazilian UFC website came with a press release, I think, earlier yesterday and on Saturday, early Saturday, and they had like the complete bout order on it, and they had Onama versus to be determined, and Krylov was totally off. So, yeah.
Excuse me. Yep. I like MMA. Glad to have you here, man. You like the prelims, Antoine? I think they're okay, too. All right, let's go to the next fight here. We have Mickey Gall. Speaking of the devil, Mickey Gall, Marcel, taking on Raheem Brahimaj. And the odds for this one, bet 105, have Mickey's a slight favorite, minus 125, Ramiz plus 109. I'll let you start this one. What do you think?
Yeah, man, interesting matchup. You would think Mickey Gall has a home game here, but actually Ramiz is from the Bronx, so he's from New York as well. He's training at Fortis. Yeah, my McGhee, he came back after 2 years without a fight. Last time against Bassil Hafez, I think he looked pretty decent. He lost, but it was like a competitive fight, much more competitive than I expected. Ramiz Brahimaj is like, I like him a lot as a fighter, but he struggles after the first round normally. I think he only has one win outside of the first round. Overall, the decisions he lost, he didn't look good against Tamagurimbo. He was also away for almost 2 years. I still think that he can get Gall out of there. I think that's definitely possible, Gall is pretty decent. I give him that, but I think that Ramiz can get him out. And I think Gall never been finished by submission, but I think Ramiz can do it. I'm going with Ramiz Brahimaj by submission in the first round.
That's a dog pick, Marcel. You know what to do. All right, guys. Well, I think it's a close fight, but I'm with you I'm going to pick a dog too. Hit the button for me. So we do have a consensus dog here, Ramiz Brahimaj. I feel like he should be a slight favorite here. Like, I don't think Mickey should really be favored over many people. Now, I'll give him credit because I think he looked pretty good against Bassil Hafez. A lot better than I thought, more competitive than I thought, but still lost. 3 straight losses for him. Doesn't fight that often either. This is his second fight this year. I guess that's a good thing. Keep a little bit more active, but doesn't fight that often. Ramiz, obviously, he's had a little bit of a break too, but, bad performance his last fight. But, I still feel like, he can get Mickey down. And on the ground, I feel like I kind of agree with you. Like, I think he'll have the edge on the ground. Like, I know Mickey's not a slouch there either, but Ramiz is pretty dangerous on the ground, especially, like you said, early in the fight. There's some worries, though, especially with the cardio, like you mentioned as well. So that's a worry. There's a lot of worries, I think, for both guys. But I kind of slightly lean Brahimaj in this fight. And I feel like he could get Mickey out of there, too. Like, there was also that fight with Diego Sanchez. I know he didn't submit him, but he ground and pounded him, right? So I think potentially that could be something similar here. I'm just not sold on Gall, man. I can't take him. I'll take Brahimaj. I think the loser probably gets cut from the UFC if I had to guess. So there we go. All right, we'll go to the next fight here, guys. We have Marcin Tybura taking on Jhonata Diniz. Short notice fight here. Diniz was supposed to fight Derek Lewis a few weeks ago. Fight got scrapped, and then Tybura is taking this fight on somewhat short notice. By the way, did he have a fight booked, or was he training for something, or no?
I don't think so.
No? Okay. All right, so this is a short notice fight, and that's just something to keep in mind. So let me get the odds for this one. It's a pick-up fight, -110 each. So
yeah,
coin flip odds. I'll let you start. What do you think?
Yeah, this is actually pretty easy how it goes. I think you either get like Tybura controlling him on the ground, or Jhonata is too quick for him early and he knocks him out within 30-45 seconds. I think If Jhonata doesn't knock him out in the first minute, I think Tybura might get him to the ground and can probably submit him. There's a possibility. But I've seen Tybura fight before, and he takes damage before he gets to the actual finish, normally on the ground if he gets to the ground. If he takes this kind of damage that he took in his other fights against Jhonata Diniz, Jhonata can put him away. So for that, I'm going with Jhonata Diniz by knockout in the first round. But don't be surprised if Tybura gets the win.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty much in agreement with what you're saying. Like, they both have paths to victory. Like Tybura, if he follows the Austin Lane game plan, can out wrestle Diniz, and he has better cardio than Austin Lane. So
yeah,
that path is there. But Diniz, like you said, if he keeps it standing, he knocks out Tybura. And I'm pretty high in this guy's power. I think he's super legit, and I think he can catch Tybura early on. Especially with Tybura coming in here on short notice too. Like, I don't know what his conditioning is going to be like. I'd imagine it's not terrible, considering that he took the fight. He probably wouldn't take it if he wasn't in somewhat decent shape, but still it's something to keep in mind in the back of my mind. So I'm with you. I'm with Diniz. I know you like Tybura in this fight. You've been kind of talking about it. Totally fair. I think he's definitely got a chance with the grappling, but I'm going with Diniz by knockout. First round. Everyone's roasting Marcin's haircut. I think he said that the barber screwed up or something, but I think he was joking. If Diniz wins, he's great ranked. Yeah, I think Tybura's ranked, right? I'm pretty sure, right? Tybura?
If Diniz wins, he gets ranked. Yeah, Tybura's ranked, definitely.
Yeah. Probably Diniz, but Tybura's decent. I agree. Tybura's decent for sure, but I feel like Diniz can pass the test. We'll see what happens, though. Again, Austin Lane did grapple him for that round before he gassed, right? So
it's a close. I think it can go either way. It's just like if Diniz can knock him out. If he doesn't, and Tybura can implement his ground game, then Diniz is probably in trouble.
I kind of feel like this is a harder fight than Derek Lewis, though. Would you agree with that? I can't hear you. Your sound is off. There you go. It's back.
I agree. Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you now. I don't know what happened there. You ate your microphone like a certain somebody does.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Next fight is supposed to be David Onama, but we don't know who his opponent is going to be, so we're going to have to skip it.
So we're picking David Onama.
Yeah. Here we go. We got Jim Miller against Damon Jackson.
By the way,
105. Yeah, go ahead.
I was talking to somebody in my DMs, and he was like, couldn't they put, for example, Bernardo Supply to fight Onama maybe, because this is like a weight class higher?
That's true.
I mean, that would be fun, but it's just hypothetically. I don't know.
Yeah, it sucks that that guy lost his fight at the last second. That really sucks, but we'll see what happens. There's not many cards left this year either, so that's the other problem. All right, next fight, like I said, Damon Jackson, Jim Miller. Odds at Bet 105 have Damon Jackson minus 158, Jim Miller plus 136. And I think the odds open differently. I think Jim Miller opened his favorite. Money's coming on Damon Jackson, and I agree with it. I think Damon wins this fight. I like Damon a lot in this fight, actually. So he's moving up in weight to lightweight. He has fought there before, but it's been a while. But basically, I heard an interview with him. I think it was with John Coe at All Star, and he was just saying like he was like killing himself to make 145. Yeah. Like it was such a horrible weight cut for him, and it's crazy because he was actually still making weight, but the guys he was fighting were missing, like Chepe and Alexander Hernandez, but still just killing himself to make weight. And it was like one of those things where the camp isn't even about like training anymore; it's just about losing weight. So
yeah,
I think this is better for him moving up in weight, and I feel like this is a winnable fight against Jim Miller, who, what's crazy? It's like Damon's 36, Jim is Jim's 41, I think, but it's like it's not that big of an age gap as you think. You know what I mean? Like you would think it would be bigger, but yeah, I mean Jim is an all-time legend, obviously. You know what's crazy, Marcel? And you probably know this. Who debuted in the UFC first? John Jones or Jim Miller?
Sorry, can you say
who had their first UFC fight first? John Jones or Jim Miller?
Jim Miller, of course.
No, John Jones did. At UFC 87. Jim fought at UFC 89 in England. Can you believe that? Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes, John fought at UFC 87 in Minnesota, and Jim fought at UFC 89, Bisping Lieben. So John fought in the UFC a little bit earlier, 2 months earlier than Jim Miller. Crazy, right? No one would believe that if you told them that, right?
No, I was sure it was Jim Miller. Okay.
I know. So, yeah. Anyways, getting back to the fight. Yeah, I mean, I love Jim, but the thing with Jim is like he's kind of like finisher bust, and I think Damon's going to have the cardio advantage. I think Damon could actually take Jim down potentially. I think Damon can hold his own with feet. I mean, Jim is dangerous as hell. Don't get me wrong. Jim could potentially knock Damon out, but I feel like his chin's going to be a little better at 155. I just feel like Damon's going to be able to take him down and kind of control him. I feel like it looks like maybe that Vince Pichel fight from a few years ago, or even the Alexander Hernandez fight where he like gets the better of him on the feet. Because I just feel like Jim at this point in time, that last fight with King Green, dude, he took a lot of damage in that fight. So if you look at Jim's record, like the guys he's beaten are all like borderline UFC, like guys that are not in the UFC. He barely has any wins over guys in the UFC still. Whereas, Damon is still, I know he's lost a couple fights, but he has some really good wins on his resume still. So I feel like Damon wins this fight. The odd money's coming in on Damon Jackson. I think it's right. I think Damon wins, man. What do you think, dude?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you, man. I think it's a close fight, to be really honest, man. But the thing is, like, Damon Jackson got the cardio for 3 rounds. We also know that Jim Miller kind of has difficulties if it goes to a 3rd round. And I think Damon Jackson can, neutralize Jim Miller's game, So I'm going on a decision win for Damon Jackson in this one. I think we'll be close, but I think Damon will do enough to get the win. And I think it will be clear. It won't be a split decision or anything. So, yeah.
There you go. By the way, Zach said Michael Oswald, they told Oswald he's getting the call. Maybe that would be the fight. That would be fine. I'd be okay with that.
I'm would cool. Definitely be cool. I like Oswald a lot. Yeah.
I feel like Jackson's chin's going to look better, but we'll see. I mean, Jim's got the power. 2 wrestlers will be a stand fight, probably. I don't doubt that, but I still feel like Damon can grind him. Like, remember that Vince Pichel fight from a few years ago? I feel like it looks like that, personally. You think Jim will – I don't think he retires at all. No, he's not retiring. You think or no?
No, he fights until he's 50, so no.
He might. All right, he was going to fight at UFC 400.
Yeah.
Right. Next fight here, we got Chris Weidman taking on Eryk Anders. Middleweight fight. This used to be on the main card, right? And they moved it down?
Yeah.
All right, so Bet 105 right now has the favorite Eryk Anders minus 138, Chris Weidman plus 120. I know Eryk Anders isn't great, but I mean, how could I pick Chris Weidman? I'm not picking Chris Weidman. I'm taking Eryk Anders for sure. I can't pick Chris Weidman. I know he beat Bruno Silva, but that fight was just sketchy as hell. And at this point, Chris is over 40 years old. He takes so much damage in his fights. His chin is pretty much gone. No, Eryk is, also, not looked amazing. His chin is also going, but I still think Eryk's got a little bit more of the tank, and Eryk's got some power. Eryk can push him against the fence a little bit more. I think he either wins the decision or maybe knocks Chris Weidman out, but I don't know, man. Everything is pointing to me Eryk Anders wins this fight. The line is really low, though. I don't know. What am I missing here? I can't pick Chris Weidman. I know that I guess the level of competition and stuff, but I don't know. I can't pick Chris Weidman. Go ahead.
I'm just happy that Mauricio Ruffy is on this card because they might have an extra set of glasses for Eryk Anders to enter the cage to fight Chris Weidman with all the eye pokes. Yeah, I mean, this is I'm actually I don't know what to think about this fight, man. It's like Eryk Anders is like super inconsistent in the division. Chris Weidman is just not at that level anymore that he was for a long time. You know, he's just not there anymore. It's in New York, so he will have extra. How do you say that? He will probably have extra motivation to do well. At the same time, I just cannot pick him, man. I think Weidman can win the fight, but at the same time, I have to pick Anders. I think Anders lands a shot at a certain moment, and he probably TKOs him. So I'm going with Eryk Anders.
I can see it too. By the way, Eryk Anders 8-8-1, no contest in the UFC. Weidman 12-7. So Eryk's much more consistent, like you said. But I still feel like at this point in his career, I can't pick Chris to win.
Yeah,
I can't do it. I agree. And the Silva win is still weird to me. I know he won, decision, but the eye pokes, everything were just sketchy. Roll Tide, eh? Yeah. All right. Could be a war. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. All right, let's go to the next fight here, guys. We have the feature prelim. Jonathan Martinez taking on Marcus McGhee. Odds for this one: McGhee -132, Martinez +115 at bet 105. So, close odds on this one. What's your thoughts on this fight? Bantamweights.
Yeah, it's a fucking fun fight, I think. This is one of the better fights of the card, in my opinion. McGhee has looked amazing so far in the UFC. He got 3 wins. All 3, he got performance bonuses in. Wins against Jordan Newsom, GP Bice, and Gaston Bolaños. Jonathan Martinez, he had that really underwhelming fight against Jose Aldo earlier this year in Brazil, which would have been like his big breakthrough if he won that fight, but he just didn't look good. But, I mean, if you look at his other fights, he looked amazing against Adrian Yanez. He looked amazing against Cub Swanson. The Said Nurmagomedov fight, I still think he was kind of lucky there, but he got the win. So had a good streak before that. Marcus McGhee, I think he's the popular pick for a lot of people because of the entertainment factor, how he won in his last couple of fights. Mm-hmm. But I think Martinez can win a decision here, man. I think he's very technical. He's a fun fighter to watch. I think it will be an amazing fight, but I'm taking Jonathan Martinez by decision.
Hit the button. That's a dog.
Okay. There you go.
Hit it again for me because I'm taking a dog too. I'm going with Martinez.
Double dog pick.
Yeah, we have a consensus dog, another one here. So I like Martinez in this fight. I feel like he's being undervalued here. Remember, guys, he was like a favorite to beat Jose Aldo, and he lost that fight, and it was not a great performance, obviously. He got beaten in that fight, but I'm not going to forget what he did before that. It looked great. 6 straight wins, was beating everyone, destroying everyone, looking like, a contender. He's fought a way higher level of competition than Marcus McGhee. Marcus has looked great. Don't get me wrong. He's looked amazing. Mm-hmm. I've loved what I've seen. This is a big step up from Bolaños, JP Bays, and Jordan Newsom. Massive step up in competition. Huge. He's also an older guy. He's 34. He's not a young guy for this division. Jonathan's 30 years old, much more in his prime. Not to say that McGee's out of his prime, because I think he kind of is in it still, but I'm just saying, like, people are acting like this guy's 25 years old. He's not. He's 34, Martinez, way more UFC experience. He's fought way higher level competition. I think that he's the better striker. I know that McGhee has landed some good strikes, and he's looked great. I'm not taking anything away from him. I don't want to say that because I think he's really good, but to me, it's just a huge step up in competition, I think. And I think Martinez is being undervalued. I think he should be favored to win this fight. And as a dog, I'm definitely taking him. So I'm taking the Dragon. I'll take him to win. Probably decision, Marcel. I think he can use his kicks and just kind of like stay at range and win a decision. So I think it could be fight of the night too. I'll say that as well. I think it's a good fight. Guy likes McGhee. You guys like McGhee. Most people in the chat like McGhee. By the way, Sign Collectibles is here. What's up, man? Glad to have you here. I get it, guys. He is favored. He's the popular pick. You said it perfectly, Marcel. He's the popular pick, right? But some dogs will win. I think this is one where the dog wins. I think Martinez is better, and I've been kind of like, I wasn't sure what you'd say, Marcel. To be honest with you, I was kind of hoping that we'd have a consensus dog. So here we go. We got one.
2 already. Yeah.
2. Yeah, but I feel better with this one than Brahimaj. I feel better.
I agree.
All right, let's go to the next fight here. This is the main card, and I'm pretty sure we're going to take the favorite in this one, Marcel. We got Mauricio Ruffy taking on Llontop. Am I saying it right? Hafez. God, I knew I was going to say it wrong. I was trying all day to say it. No, I'm kidding. Hafez Llontop. Okay. Odds for this one, bet 105. We have Ruffy minus 818. Massive favorite. Llontop plus 548. So I think that Ruffy's the biggest favorite of the card. Yeah, he is. I think he knocks out Llontop in the first round. I know that Llontop, I think he's never been knocked out, but I think he gets knocked out here, dude. Like, Ruffy's next level. Like, I think the whole team is amazing, and he's going to win by knockout first round. I have no doubt.
You know what Hafez said when he met his wife?
No.
I'm Llontop. I'm sorry.
Ding, ding.
That's so bad. I'm sorry, guys.
What's your pick?
My pick. Yeah, I'm going with Ruffy, man. I think Ruffy wins. Listen, man, Llontop, he had a really bad debut against Chris Padilla, you know. Yeah. Then he fought Vyacheslav Borchav.
He looked pretty good in that fight. That was a great fight.
Very close fight.
It wasn't a fight of the night, but I think it could have been, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But Ruffy, man, I kind of pick against him. He looked great. He got a great comeback against Raymond Magomedaliev, you know.
Yep.
And after that Milwaukee fight was probably one of the best debuts in years, you know. I wouldn't say the best, but one of the better debuts in years in the UFC. I cannot go against him. At the same time, Llontop will fight like his life depends on it because he's 0-2. So it will be a very fun fight, I think. I'm going with Ruffy here, man. I think Ruffy gets a finish as well. I think he's a special kind of dude.
Yep. You actually like Llontop? I mean, the odds are pretty high, but I can't take him, dude. He's tough, though. Maybe he can survive a bit. If he survives, you never know, right? But I don't think so. I hope they push Marcus in his prime, and if he wins, if he beats Martinez, he's going to fight one of those top 10 guys like Rob Font or something, I would imagine, right? Something like that. Yeah, I think Ruffy shreds him, too. Malarkey's chin isn't much better than Shannon Ross's. Agreed. I mean, Ruffy, dude, you know, true, I would not pick against that team right now, though. Fighting Nerds, I just wouldn't pick against these guys at all. Would you, Marcel? Fighting Nerds?
Depends on who's fighting, man. I mean, they also have Bruno.
All winners.
They have also Bruno Brazil and Thiago Moises. So.
Well, even Bruno's winning her fight somehow. So.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next fight here, guys. We have women's flyweights, Viviane Araujo taking on Karine Silva. And the odds at this one, that 105, have Silva minus 281, Araujo plus 230. I'm taking Karine Silva all day here. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the question for me is, like, does she submit Araujo or not? Araujo's never been submitted. Mm-hmm. She's tough. She's got pretty good takedown defense. I still think she's going to get taken down, but I feel like it might go to 15 minutes, kind of like the Darian De Silva fight went, where Karine clearly wins the fight, takes her down. Araujo has a little bit of moments on her feet, but just gets taken down a lot, and maybe gets submitted, but I'm kind of feeling a decision. But either way, I mean, Karine Silva all day, man. I think she's legit. To me, like, she's a serious contender, and I kind of feel bad for Jasmine because I think she was supposed to fight Araujo, and that fight would have pushed her way up the rankings, and now Karine gets that chance instead. But I think Karine wins for sure. What do you think?
Yeah, man. Did you watch that fight?
What fight?
Jasmine. Oh, it was a different one. Sorry, man. I kind of like it was. Don't think about what I said. Yeah, Karine Silva. She's fighting Viviane Araujo. I really like Karine Silva, man. I'm actually intrigued by this fight. You know, I want to see how Karine does. I've liked her from the beginning. Viviane Araujo is just like, yeah, she seems like, how do you say that? A little bit of a declining. You know what I mean? So she lost to Karine last time, or to Natalia last time. Now she's fighting Karine. Maybe your next fight is Ariane. Who knows? So she got all the Silvas. Now I'm going with Karine here. I think she is the better grappler of the two. You know, and I think she can out-grapple her, maybe even get a finish. But I'm going with the decision win for Karine Silva.
Yeah, no, I like her too. I honestly, I feel like this is a showcase fight for her. You know, she's on a huge card here. Same with Ruffy and this next game we're going to talk about. Like, I think UFC's pushing these fighters, and the next fight here is I just said she was the what's his name? Ruffy was the biggest favorite. It's actually this guy. I don't know how I forgot that, but I guess the odds were so big that I just kind of passed them by. Bo Nickal here taking on Paul Craig, minus 1195. Bo Nickal plus 725. Paul Craig. You know, it's kind of crazy because I think Craig is the toughest test of Nickal's career, but I think Nickal steamrolls him, dude. I think he knocks I think he knocks Paul Craig out.
What are the odds for a knockout?
I don't know. I mean, you'd have to let me take a look.
Okay,
I'll take a look. I don't know if they're out yet.
Because I think that's more interesting than just a win, you know?
Yeah, because 1195 is horrible odds, obviously, right? I mean, everyone knows he's going to win. It's just the way that, I don't think the odds are out yet, but I think knockout for me. That's the way to go. Because I don't think why play in the ground, Paul Craig, right? Like why? That's the only way he'd win the fight. If he like triangles Bo or something like that. On the feet, I think he just gets steamrolled. I have no doubt he wins. I mean, on paper it's a step up, but it's such a bad matchup for Paul Craig. Bo by knockout first round. What do you think? First minute. I'll say first minute. I'll say really quick.
I think Nickal starches in that. I think it's like Nickal is like a level above, 2 levels above Paul Craig on the stand-up, I think,
How did you say his name? What did you say?
Well, Paul Craig.
There you go.
Yeah, I think Bo Nickal wins, man. And when we were, I think when the fight got announced, I think a lot of people in the Discord said like the submission or knockout, but you were very on the side of the knockout, and I was as well.
Which fight? Val Woodburn?
Bo Nickal against Paul Craig. When it was mentioned in the Discord at first,
okay, my bad.
I say immediately knockout, and you said it as well. I think. I can remember.
I think it's probably because I was at that fight with Val Woodburn where he knocked him out in 30 seconds.
I think he can do that with Paul Craig as well. So
fast. Yeah, me too. No, I think so. I think that's the way to go, guys. Take a knockout prop. I like this too. First round knockout. I think it's quick. I think it's fast.
Same.
I don't think Paul has a chance in this fight. I really don't. Well, he's got a submitter's chance. Like he beat Ankalaev, right? But and Jamal Hill. But like it's not going to the ground. It's just not going to the ground. Craig via banana peel. Maybe. By the way, the last fight, Araujo and Andrea Lee. I get what you're saying, but Araujo's a lot older, I should say. She's like 39 or something. 38. Karine is so young, man. She's like 30, 31.
I think Bo gets a ranked opponent after this one.
He has to. I mean, they can't keep giving him layups. 60-second prop is interesting for this fight because I think it's quick.
Yeah.
I think he's just going to go in there and starch him. Like, I don't think it's going to last long. He's going to try to get that bonus, and I think he does. So, yeah.
I mean, it's pretty fitting. Bo Nickal.
Yeah, true. I just think this is such a horrible matchup for Paul Craig. I think it is. A really, really horrible matchup. I don't know. He's got to be someone ranked. You can't keep protecting this guy forever, right? It's the right step up, but if he beats him,
Yeah, Adam asked me like, if you think about Bo, what you think about? I was like bonus. He was like, he was like boner, but I was more into bonus.
Lazy bits. I remember you guys said there's another
talking over me.
yeah, my bad. This comment's hilarious though. You're gonna laugh. I remember when you guys said there was another one coming. Then I got high, like that song that you like.
Yeah.
What's that guy's name again? Afro Man.
Yeah. Because I got high. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you love that song. And you've never got high before, right? You never smoked weed?
I did. I had a few. How do you say that? A few,
Cokes.
But I never got high. Yeah.
You ever taken a space cake or whatever? Like
no, I've never had.
I just don't believe you because you live in Holland. That's where it's legal.
It's people always think like, but you got to see like I'm not like close to Amsterdam. Amsterdam is like 2.5 hours, 3 hours from me away. I'm more in the south.
You could ride your bike there, get high, and then ride home.
Bro, there is actually a lot of drug-related activity over here because we are at the border with Belgium and Germany, you know what I mean? Yeah. But just not really into it, never been into it, I'm not against it either. Yeah, I'm against like really bad stuff, but with like weed, I mean, people should do whatever they should do, I think,
For sure. All right, let's go to the next fight here, guys. We got the co-main event. Can't wait to talk about this one with you, Marcel. Charles do Bronx Oliveira against Michael Chandler. What? I missed something?
The last comment.
Oh God. Yeah. Oh wait, before we get to the co-main event, the Ritter Bo.
No, I don't like it.
They'll probably do separate fights.
True. You should check out the video clip of the Vanga boys. We're going to Ibiza. At the middle clip, you see the White House, and then you see like a guy banging a girl, and it has to be like Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. You should check it out. It's fucking funny.
Oh, I'll get this last comment. Do you guys think Bo has championship potential? I do. I think he does. Because he has the wrestling, and that's the base for MMA to be a champion. And then he has crazy athleticism, and he has knockout power. He has submissions. There's not much to dislike about Bo Nickal, man. He's the real deal. He really is, Marcel, and I think you'd agree. Yeah. All right, now let's get to the co-main event. We got the rematch here between Charles do Bronx Oliveira and Michael Iron Chandler. Man, I can't wait for this fight. Bet105.eu right now has do Bronx minus 270, Chandler plus 223. So this first fight happened in 2021. I think I was doing the podcast with Cole at this time. I don't remember if you were the co-host yet, but you might have been. I think it was Cole and me though. But I picked Oliveira by knockout, and some people thought it was crazy because he's not really a striker, but then he's been knocking everyone out, including Chandler. In that fight, he knocked him out. It was like plus 400 ticket I hit. So I think he does it again, man, potentially. Or I think he submits him. Either way, I like Oliveira in this fight. 5 rounds. Chandler's going to come out strong again, come out hot in the first round. he did in that first fight. He looked good, but gassed as the fight went on. That's what happens in his fights. He gets tired. And the last fight with Dustin Poirier, got tired, got submitted. I think Oliveira finishes him again. Knockout or submission after Chandler gets tired. But yeah, I like DuBronx here. And I think Dana said the winner gets a title shot, right, against the winner of Arman and Islam. So we'll see if that happens. But I think DuBronx probably finishes him in like maybe I'll say second or third round. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm just happy Chandler finally let that Conor fight go. So he's back now. Yeah, I'm going with Charles again. I don't see why I have to pick Chandler here. You know, Chandler can make it dirty, and I mean with dirty, like competitive. You know, but I like Charles more. I think Charles better on the ground. With this jiu-jitsu, I would say I think Chandler's a pretty good wrestler himself. But striking, yeah, I think Charles can hurt him there as well. At the same time, Chandler hurt him before in that fight. You know, remember in the first round, then Charles took it over and finished him. Charles, I don't see why I should pick somebody else here. Charles, I'm going with a club and sub in this one, first round or second.
Yeah,
round.
I think it's possible too. A couple comments. I think Chandler's a chance. He does. Bronx, yeah. Is Chandler retired? I don't think so. Hopefully he gets paid well for sure because he waited a while, waited 2 years. Thoughts on the injury rumors? They're all bullshit, I think. Thinking Chandler. Hey, he's got a chance in the first round just like he did in the first fight. But, you know, I think Oliveira is the better fighter and he'll win this fight. All right, let's get to the main event, guys. We have
5 rounds.
Yeah, 5 rounds. You want to do the introduction here?
5 rounds in the UFC heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. It's the former UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Stipe Miocic. And in the red corner, it's the current UFC heavyweight champion, the former light heavyweight champion, and the all-time UFC GOAT, John Bones Jones.
There you go. Not bad. All right. Odds for this one at Bet 105. Minus 677, John Jones, plus 474 on Stipe. Well, I feel like the odds are pretty elevated here. I mean, I think people are like kind of completely actually writing off Stipe here because he's 42 and he hasn't fought in 3 years. But like, he's dude. What?
Blake.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, listen, Stipe, dude. I mean, if you look at his resume though, it's fucking amazing. Like he's beaten like all of the best guys of all time, heavyweight, including Francis, including DC. You know, he lost them too, but he also beat them. His resume is amazing. You know, and Jones is obviously coming up. I mean, he's fought Cyril Gane at this weight, but for the most part, 205. I just think it's hard to pick against Jones, like it is. But I don't think he's as unbeatable as people say. Like, I don't think he beat Dominic Reyes. I don't think he beat Thiago Santos. You know, I think he lost those fights, guys. Still got the win though. Knows how to get the job done. I just feel like this fight's going to be. Marcel, just try to be serious for a second.
Yeah, sorry, but look at the comments.
I know. I know. But you know what? Like, I feel like this fight's going to be a little bit more competitive than people think. Like, I think it probably goes the distance here. Because the thing is, John doesn't have one-punch knockout power. He doesn't have that power. And Stipe's, like, pretty hard to get down and submit, too. I don't think he's been submitted. I feel like it's going to be John playing his, like, distance game here. And, you know, Stipe's, man, he's got good boxing still. But I feel like Jones can, you know, land some takedowns at key times to steal like rounds, steal moments. And I feel like he doesn't, I don't know if he covers the price tag, but I think he wins the fight. So I'll take Jones. I do feel like the odds are pretty high and kind of disrespectful though, you know? Like I don't think Stipe's a bum. Plus 455 or whatever it is. What is it? Plus 474. It's even more than I thought. Getting almost 5-1 on the guy's heavyweight of all time. I don't know. It's interesting. I'll take Jones. I'll take him by decision. That's kind of what I would be looking for. The overs here because I think it's going to be a harder fight than people think. But I don't think you could pick against Stipe or against Jones. What do you think?
I mean, Stipe is definitely not a bum. He's like the most successful heavyweight champion in UFC history, so he's definitely not a bum. That said, I think Stipe is just being older, you know, and old, you know, and I don't see Stipe coming back like amazing. I thought that he looked really flat against Francis in the last time when he fought Francis, you know, and after that he hasn't fought anymore, you know. And Jones not very active at all. Jones looked good against Gall, but the fight was so quick, it's hard to say. Yeah. But the thing is, like, you're getting like how do you say that? hype John Jones against you. And I mean, with that, he's like a confident and somebody who wants to prove something. I think the John Jones who fought the Smiths, the Santoses, the Reyes wasn't really as happy to fight them. They were like, oh, there's another title defense, another title defense. And now he's like, I can be like the most successful heavyweight champion of all time in UFC history, you know? So I think he is more motivated than he was before.
Yeah.
He's not like a massive finisher, and later in his career, although he finished Gall, I think he finishes Stipe, man. I just don't see Stipe. Listen, if he does get it to 5 rounds, I'll be really surprised, and I'll give you credit for it for sure, because I think that would be really big if he does, you know. But I just don't see it anymore, man. And I always like Stipe. The thing also is like people like to shit on Stipe. You know, Stipe is actually like a super cool and good dude, you know. So I always hate it when I see it. He's like. Watch some stuff from him back, interviews, old stuff. If you don't really know him, he's like one of the nicest guys. Plus, he's a firefighter, you know. He's a very good dude, family man. I have all respect for him, but I'm gotta pick John Jones here. Also picking Jones by stoppage. I think he wins by TKO.
Yeah, possible. I don't know. I just think here's one thing I'll say about Jones. Like, he doesn't get enough credit for his chin. He has the best chin in MMA history. Never been dropped ever. He has more fights than anyone that's ever been dropped. I mean, Max had it to that point, but Jones has never been hurt, like, really. I guess who hurt him? Machida maybe a little bit, maybe.
Only Belfort with that arm, but that was
he's never really been hurt, guys. So like, he's got the great chin, but
I mean, Matt Hamill tried. Matt Hamill tried with his face to his elbow to hurt him, you know.
I don't know, man. There's something about this fight that's telling me it's going to be closer than people think. That's all. Like, I think people are really just not giving Stipe a chance, and I think it's disrespectful because he's been in there with the best heavyweights, and he's beaten many of them. Like, he's a great fighter. He is one of the best fighters of all time. He is beatable, though. He is a guy that, you know, can get hurt. Maybe he gets TKO'd, but, like, if you look at the fights where he got knocked out, it was one punch by Francis, one punch by DC, and then the other one was Struve where he gassed out. And it was a weird finish. I actually did pick Struve in that fight, which is funny. But
Struve will be down, man.
The fight with JDS, the first fight, I think it could look like that fight, to be honest with you, where JDS just, like, beats him basically, but it was like competitive. So that's kind of what I think happens here. I think it's a little more competitive than people think. I'm not saying he's going to win, but I don't know.
Look out for that interview, dude. I think Stefan is going to interview Stipe before the fight. So
good stuff. By the way, my boy Tom Taylor did from Bleacher Report. Tom, nice. You know Tom?
Yeah, for sure. It's Chris's brother, right?
They're not related.
Oh, I was
you would think so because they couple comments. Here comes Stipe. Look, oh come on, you guys are. How many people have never seen Stipe fight the runner online? Agreed. I mean, I've seen his whole career unfold. The guy's great, you know? I kind of feel like I don't think he's going to lackluster. I think it's going to be a war. Stipe's going to push him, dude. It's not like Stipe's going to lay down there. He's old, but he's still going to come to fight. 12-6. I don't know if he'll take him down. Maybe. Jones by decision. I mean, here's the thing. Okay, so you're saying, everyone's saying knockout, right? Jones, 7 of his last 10 wins were by decision, not by knockout, Marcel. Remember that.
Yeah, I have TKO.
You know? I know. I'm saying like 7 of his last 10 wins have been by decision, not by knockout. So like he often goes the distance. That's what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong, Jones is favorite, even though Stipe's 42. Look what Glover did. Yeah, Glover was still competitive at his age. Stipe head kick knockout. Imagine, holy fuck, dude. Dana White is gonna like have an aneurysm if Jones loses here.
You know what? You know what would be funny. If Stipe wins and somebody
I honestly hope he wins just for the duels.
And imagine somebody in the post-fight press is like, "Hey Dana, do you think that John Jones should be pound for pound number 1?"
I know that'd be funny. Does Stipe win a round? I think he maybe could win a round. Maybe. Everyone says Stipe works with a hitch. Always have because the huge Croatian cojones. Yeah, exactly. Think Anthony Smith regrets carrying on after the potential DQ 100%. He got, I think it was 2 points deducted, wasn't it? In that fight?
2 points, I think so, yeah.
For a legal knee. Was it Herb Dean, I think? I think.
Yeah.
He could have won the belt. He's like, I didn't want to win the belt like that. It's like, dude, no one, like Aljo did. Aljo won the belt like that, right?
Yeah. And he defended them a couple of times, yeah.
Yeah. Miocic takes the title, poses for a sexy fireman calendar, and saves a kid from a tree. Imagine that. It'd be a hell of a weekend.
Yeah.
Reyes, hey, Colton. Yeah. I thought Reyes won that. Who did you think won that fight, Reyes and Jones?
I think it was super close. I think Reyes did enough, actually, but yeah.
Who do you think won between Jones and Thiago Santos? Who do you think won that?
I think Jones won that, in my opinion.
I thought Thiago won that fight, personally.
It was also close.
It was close. Thank you. I like hearing that. Justin, what's up? I might be biased because I'm from a family of Cleveland firefighters and first got in the UFC with Stipe, but Stipe knockout. Never faced that power. I mean, I don't necessarily disagree. Like, Stipe's got serious power, guys, you know? I'm not trying to, like, hype up Stipe so much here. It's just, I know it sounds like that, but I feel like he's really being disrespected here, man. Not by you guys in the chat, but just by the line and by online narrative. Yeah. Lose for John. Yeah, if he wins, it's like he was supposed to. And if he loses, then it destroys his legacy. Really, it does. Drinking and drugs is Dave Jones. Yeah, I'll be honest, Glenn. I've watched a lot of interviews this week. He looks rejuvenated, but you know, he's definitely like he's did a few lines in his day for sure. Those will be quicker. I agree, and that's kind of why I think he's going to outstrike him. But and again, I think he can land a key takedown here and there too, like 1 or 2 takedowns when he needs to. Like not a lot, but a couple. If you destroy Stipe around, if you beat up an old man, instead of fighting a young killer, if he struggles at all, it'd be worse. Yeah, you're not wrong. Jones look good against Gall, had to break that fight, so I think you should. Yeah, the fight was so quick. I wish that fight went longer, don't you? Because we would have learned more about him at heavyweight, right?
Yeah.
Oh, here's a good question. Are you guys going to watch Jones and Mike Tyson, Jake Paul? Yeah, I'll watch it. You're going to watch it?
It's probably on, so I will check it out.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it on Netflix. I think it is. I think Jake Paul wins, to be honest with you. Am I crazy?
No, same.
What's the odds for that? I want to check the odds for that, guys. Second. I mean, I think Paul's favored, right? Probably not by a lot, but let me check. Minus 245. People will take Mike Tyson at plus 200, but Mike is like, you talk about old. Everyone's making jokes about Stipe. Mike's like 60 years old, isn't he?
Yeah, almost.
58. He still hits hard, but.
That's what she said. Just kidding.
Imagine Jake knocks him out, though, in like the first round or something. Maybe not the first round, but I think Jake probably knocks him out. Anyways, anything else you want to talk about really quick before we go here? Or are you good?
I'm good.
I'm good too. All right, guys. Thank you again for coming in here and chatting MMA with us tonight. We appreciate it. You guys spending your Sunday evening with us on the MMAOB Daily Podcast. And like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about it, guys. We appreciate that. Follow him on Twitter at BigMarcel24. Follow me, Adam Martin, and Bet105 for all your betting this weekend at UFC 309. Have a great weekend, everyone. Talk to you guys soon. We'll be back next Sunday for the recap and the preview of the UFC Macau card. Peace.